Hi, so I'm going to quickly go through the recipe. I'll be really quick here. I'm using Beersmith. I picked a black IPA. I tried to get the figures around average. I've never made this before, but I've actually picked up. I did actually copy in part some stuff from the Homebrew Beer Book by Greg Hughes, which I just dropped on the floor there. I The main base malt is Marisotta, and I've stuck in chocolate crystal and roasted barley, and also I stick some flaked rice in there to lighten the beer up a bit. Bittering with Centennial Magnum, and also I'm doing dry hopping with Bose towards the end, about 63 grams there. Also, I'm doing a 0 and a 20-minute whirlpool edition of Cascade. I'm mashing about 65. I actually did about an hour's worth, hour 90 or 80 minutes of mashing, and then I just mashed out for about 75 or 10 minutes. I know I've got about 6 kilograms, so this is how I work out my water. I've got a spreadsheet here that works all out for me. So I popped in 23 litres and I popped my 60 grams in there, and I know that I needed to add about 8 litres in order to get about 19 litres into my corny keg. They're pointless doing it for an extra, and I don't like bottling if I don't have to. Also did a water, check my water out for the water additions and things. I plugged in my figures from my local water board, and also I took an alkalinity check, and it came to about 220, which I popped into there. That was good. Popped my water in. I told it how much my SRM was. If you look, my values on Beersmith are actually, let's go back here, are in EBC. So you have to go online and just do a quick conversion for that one there. Oh, where are we? Roasted barley, all the roasted grains. Obviously, I got those from grain Beersmith as well. They're basically the percentages of the. These are the percentages down here. So I added these 3 figures together here to give me that value. And down here it told me that my estimated pH was about 5.24, which is a little low, but in the end, as you see the Brewday, it actually did come up to about 5.5, and I had to actually put a little bit extra acid in there. I didn't stick any gypsum in. I thought the grains and the hops would actually come through enough. I think that would be fine. I would normally stick a bit extra gypsum in there to actually emphasise the hop flavours sometimes, and stick a bit of Epsom to just, if you look down here, my magnesium levels are quite low, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's quite a lot of magnesium in all the grains anyway too. So if I just change that back to 0 there, like you'll see it comes down to 9, which is a little bit below. So put it back up to there. And that's about it. Okay, let's start the Brewday. Hello, today's a brew day. I'm going to be making a American black IPA. Well, black IPA is basically a American IPA which has got lots of black malts in it. It's the first time I've ever made one, which is interesting. I've had a few over the last year or so, I just fancy having to go and make one myself. Let's have a look at the stats. So I'm looking at original gravity 1065, about almost 70 IBUs, and ABV about 7%. Using crystal, caramel, chocolate, bit of rice, pale malt, and bittering up with Magnum and Centennial, and also I'm using some Cascade for aroma towards the end. That's the recipe. I've done some water calculations. I don't need to add any acid. It's looking as if it'll sort itself out. I did a few tests on the local water today with an alkalinity test kit, and getting an alkalinity of about 220 here. What else? Great, Baumeister's here heating up. It should be ready soon. It's up to about 29 at the moment, so that'll be there soon. Got all the grains pre-weighed. What else? Nothing else really. It's all ready to go. So I treated the water with a Canon tablet. I also can add some magnesium sulfate in there. I'm not going to add any other chemicals. I think we don't really need them, because obviously my water levels are quite right really. So let's carry on and get going. So these are the grains I'll be using today. I've got Marisotto here, that's about 5.4 kilograms. Got some crystal malt from 400 EBC crystal malt from Mr. Maltings. It's got very strong chocolatey flavour to it. It really smells quite nice actually. Got some rice flakes here. In the bag here, which I'm going to add later on, is some what is it? Some chocolate and some. It's chocolate and roasted barley. So just letting it just sink down. You can see the water starting to come through now. Let's give it a bit of a push to get in there. And once it's completely covered, I'll start giving it a bit of a stir. So it's nice and wet at the side here now. So I'm quite happy that all the grains are covered now. I'm going to, as the system mashes, it actually does relax. Just take the pump off to let the grains to settle down. And also that because it's unlisted constantly, you don't get any flower balls or anything like that anyway. Okay, so it's covered up and start mashing. Okay, I'm going to do a 90-minute mash today because obviously the quantity of grain in there, I just want to make sure it's completely finished. It's about the last 20 minutes of the boil, 20 minutes of the mash, and I took the top off and I just put my dark grains in there. So I haven't done the dark grains to the whole of the mash, but I've just done it for maybe the last 20 minutes just to not get too much astringency out of the grains. Obviously still get all the nice chocolatey and dark roast flavours. So yeah, you can see we've got a nice dark colour there now. It's not pitch dark, but I suppose it will go a bit darker as it mashes a bit more. I'm just taking a quick gravity reading. It's around 5.4. Well, it skipped up to 5.5 now. Sorry, when I say gravity reading, I mean pH reading, because it says pH, doesn't it? 5.5. I think it will carry on dropping a little bit. I popped a little bit of acid in there, but it's come out about 5.6. I think it's not too bad. I mean, that's a good value. To sit at the end of the boil, just going to raise the basket and start asparaging. Got a good colour here. It's a nice reddy blacky colour. That's a way to find the colour. Okay, so I got a litre in this kettle. What I'll do, I just take this out and I'll agitate the grains a little bit. There's sometimes a hole in the middle here where the water can try to all go down. So let's quickly rinse the grains off, and a few minutes time we'll take a pre-boiled gravity. well, I just collected about 27.8 litres. I took a hydrometer reading. The hydrometer? Refractometer reading, and I got refractometer. I got 13.8 bricks, which is a 13, which is about 1055 specific gravity. I'm just going to check that. So I just took the hydrometer reading. It's like 13.8, 13.9, which gives an original gravity of about 1055. That's the pre-boil gravity. Looking at my stats, gives me a measure of efficiency of 81, which is okay. And I was looking for something like about 80, so I'm looking good. I'm made to boil a bit more because I was expecting maybe only about, what was it, 27.8? Oh, hang on. I was expecting about 27 litres of pre-boil gravity, so about, what is it, maybe about a litre over. That's not a big problem. So I have to boil a bit long at the end. I'm not going to start sticking aroma hops in until after the boil's finished anyway, so I can actually just keep boiling towards the end until I get it at my correct specific final gravity, and then turn it off and then. Okay. My grains out. I've got some Centennial, which is about 10% alpha acid. I've got loads there. I think that's about almost 45 grams there, and also I've got some Magnum, which is maybe about 30 grams of Magnum as well. So that's going to really. And I decided to bump up the IBUs a bit to about 75 from about 70. These hops are quite old now, so I want to make sure I get a nice big whack of bitterness there. I'm going to do some aroma additions. That's going to be at 0. That's just Cascade, I think. And this is, so that's 10 grams, and this is 20 grams of Cascade. That's all ready to go. So yeah, just about to come to the boil, and we'll stick the first hop addition in. It's looking good so far. See you soon. Okay, so in the first hop addition. This is obviously Magnum, and need to get rid of. If I can spell that, that smells really good. So I've hit the end of the ball, but my I'm seeing about, what am I seeing? It's so like about 15 there at the moment, and I'm after about 16.5 bricks. So I've got chiller in there, but I'm going to boil for another 10 minutes, and hopefully we'll come down to the correct ABV, original gravity. So I've taken another gravity reading, and it's just 60, just gone over 16 bricks. So I just need about 16.5 bricks, and I think I will have a bit of a little bit more evaporation now. So I think I'm going to call that a day. I might be slightly under, so I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and then I will stop boiling. So it's doing quite well. I want to. I think, as I said, just finish off boiling a little bit. I had to boil it for about another maybe 20 minutes more than after the boil time, which is a little bit irritating, but on the other hand, I want to get it right. I want to get it to the original gravity that I'm after, which is obviously 1066, because I want to have this down at 7% eventually. I'm going to be sticking some hops in now. I think it's Cascade pellets. About 30 grams of that stick in there, and once that's done, I'm going to obviously chill it down, whack it into a fermentation vessel here, and ferment it at 18 degrees for about maybe about 3 weeks more likely. I always like ramp it up after the first week and then see how long it takes to get down to 10, 12 maybe. I'm going to be for the first 2 or 3 days I'm going to really agitate the water to make sure there's plenty of oxygen in there, because the yeast needs that to obviously get into the high ABV brew. And so that's what I've been doing lately. I have seemed to discontinued using my oxygenating kit, my wand. I found that the amount of air passing through the wand is insignificant really, and so I'm going to, I haven't actually been able to get any hold of any oxygen around here, so I've been using an air pump. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get any oxygen in my local area, what I've found, you can only get maybe surgical stuff, which is in a big bottle, and you can't get small bottles. And the small bottles, if you do get small bottles, I think they cost an impressive amount of money, and I don't think it's really worth the hassle. But there we are. Right, we see how this is coming on. So I'm going to stick a 0 edition of Cascade in there. It's down to 16 bricks now. I'll get the water on. That's water. I'm going to save a little bit of the water for cleaning. Do a bit of stir. Once this comes down below 80, I will stick the next little hop drop in. Can you grab the other hops, Olivia? Just there in the cup, that. Yeah, look, on top of the fridge. Here, look, come closer. Towards Daddy, look. In the yellow cup there, look. Yep. So down to 85 there.
No.
Hang on a sec, not yet. Not quite there yet. Nice, say go. Let's have a look. Okay, you can do it now. Okay, so that's another 20 grams of Cascade. And I might just turn the heat off now to let it sit for a while. So just chill it. It's chilled down now to about 20, and just decanting out into the thing. Got a bit of hop debris coming through, but it's not too bad. I got some yeast here as well, which I'm going to shove in now. I might be slightly under pitching, but I'm going to give it a good stir, so I'm going to have plenty of oxygen in there to allow the yeast to reproduce. It's Sapphire 05, so it should do a good job. Right, so how are we going to do this? Okay, let's get a bit of this water in there. Do a bit of a shake. Maybe not going a bit. There we go. Right, well, that should get to work straight away, hopefully. And I'll just cover this up, and I might actually take a sample tune as well. But we'll leave that to carry on draining for a while. So
take a final gravity. I'm looking at about, let's get this in here. What are we doing? So I think that's not far off 1066. Where are we looking? Oh yeah, we're a bit below there. So, yeah. So I think that's good as damn it. 1066. Let's call that. So, hope you can see me. I think that's been a good brew day. Slight improvement to the last one anyway. Got my final gravity. Don't know what the IBU's like, but that's good. So here's done my volumes today. Had a little bit. I was a little bit over, but good brew house efficiency. Can't think of anything else. Anyway, more interesting part is the drinking, which is going to be coming up in a few weeks' time, maybe about 4 or 5 weeks' time. It needs to sit around for a while once it's finished fermenting to let the flavours intermingle and to mature a little bit. Hope you've enjoyed the brew day. Please like, subscribe and share, and if you've got any questions, leave them down below. If you've got any nice comments, leave them down below. And that's it. I think some things which I did want to do today was to perhaps with the dark grains to stick them in towards the end, and I was just a bit paranoid that I wasn't going to get the actual blackness of the grains in the brew. So as you saw, I basically put it in maybe halfway through the mash, and hopefully we still would have got a lot of flavours, a lot of the roasty flavours and a lot of colour, but without the astringency that you can get from malts and stuff like that. I think it's only about 100, maybe 80-70 grams of roasted barley in there, and that's quite strong sometimes. Loads of chocolate in there. I think also the crystal malt was very chocolatey as well, so it would be interesting to see. I think it's going to have a very, very strong chocolatey flavour about it, obviously with all the American hop flavours. I'm also going to dry hop with mosaic. I think I'll put a load of that in there. I've got a couple of packets of it knocking around, so I'll do that. Okay, well, bye bye, and thank you, bye bye.